What's up, family? It is Kaden with Urban Finance. In this video, I'll talk to you about the 5 best ETFs that you can buy in 2021. These ETFs will help you to grow your money and help you build generational wealth. And they're all focused on the advancements of technology in the future. Now, if you're new to this channel, I talk about everything related to financial literacy, investing, and building generational wealth. And so if you haven't already, go ahead and smash the like button. That really helps out the channel. Subscribe to the page and hit the bell to be notified of when I post something new. And if you want to get a free stock, feel free to do so by signing up with Robinhood. The link is in the description. All right, let's jump in. So our first ETF is Drive, and Drive gives investors access to autonomous vehicle technology as well as EVs, electric vehicles. Within Drive ETFs, you're ultimately picking up some of the companies that will allow Uber and Lyft to operate their autonomous vehicles, taxi services, as well as, Tesla will potentially go into that area. And so Tesla makes up a huge percentage of the Drive ETF. Let's take a look at it. Year to date, Drive is up about 62%. As far as their breakdown, their industry breakdown, Drive is made up of motor vehicle companies, semiconductor, auto parts, telecommunication equipment companies, internet software services. And if we look at the cross-section of these breakdowns, we'll see a similar breakdown to Kathy Wood's ARK ETFs. It's not just focusing in one segment, but focus on a cross-segment of technology across various industries. Let's take a look at some of the companies that make up the top 10 holdings. So you can see Tesla, Qualcomm, Apple, NIO, and Nvidia makes up the top 5 company. Alphabet, Toyota, Plug, Samsung, and Microsoft Corp make up the top 10. Again, so this is just not autonomous vehicle, but this is the technology that is behind it as well, and the companies that will be at the forefront of those technologies. And so if you do believe that self-driving cars will be a thing, this is one of the ETFs that you would like to get into, and the price for this ETF is currently very low at $27. The second ETF that we're going to take a look at is FIVG. 5G. This is a 5G play for those that, like me, believe 5G is going to be the next big thing. What EVs was in 2020, I do believe 5G will be in the next few years. Could be this year, could be next year. But this is a good time to get your position established within a 5G ETF. And I do believe FIVG is leading the way for 5G ETFs. Some people incorrectly believe that 5G technology will mostly affect companies like Apple, maybe AT&T, maybe T-Mobile, but 5G is literally going to touch every sphere of our economy. This level of technology will bring new innovation in medical technology, gaming technology, and various other industries. Let's take a look at this. If 1G describes the technology that enables the first cell phones, 2G brought text messaging, 3G internet access to cell phones, and 4G high speed, albeit in an overloaded network, then 5G could bring the industry the capacity for even lower latency, more sophisticated apps, and instantaneous availability of information, and more structured, relevant capacities. 5G is the bundle of technological advancements that will likely enable autonomous driving, the Internet of Things, IoT, cloud computing, mass participation in esports, and significant developments in the use of virtual or augmented reality products. As you can see, the current price for this ETF is about $35. It currently has a year-to-date return of 29%, since inception of 37%. And some of the companies that make up the top 10 holding is Analog Devices, NXP Semiconductors, Qualcomm, Ericsson, Z-Link, Keysight, Nokia, and another household name, AT&T. This 5G ETF is another ETF that those that do believe, so in addition to those that may want to pick up some of the 5G stocks that I just named, this ETF is for those that would like to buy and hold this. There's no doubt in my mind that these ETFs will be performing very well over the next few years, at least over the next 5 years. And so these are huge plays right now. I can't talk about the best ETFs for 2021 and ETFs that are focused on changing the future without talking about ARK ETF. Now, if you've been following this channel, you know that I'm heavily invested in ARK ETF, and my goal is to continuously dollar cost average into this particular ETF. I may pick up some of the other ETFs that I mentioned here as well on this video. Currently, I'm holding ARK-K, ARK-G, and ARK-F in my Robinhood portfolio. And as we can see here, the year-to-date return for ARK-K is 152%, and the top 10 companies within this holding is Tesla, Roku, Teladoc, CRISPR, Square, Invitae, Zillow, Baidu, Spotify, and Protolabs. I'll tell you exactly how I plan to play these various ETFs at the end of the video, essentially how long I plan to hold them for and why. The next ETF is THCX is the ticker symbol and is a medical plant ETF. Let's take a look at some legal medical plant growth trends here. For legal medical plants, the compound annual growth rate is expected to be 26.7%, which is a solid growth rate. Medical use now legalized in 35 countries and 34 US states. 10 years ago, the $22 billion hemp-derived CBD product market by 2022, up from $591 million in 2018. Six-fold jump in market value by 2026, up from $1.6 billion in 2018. Public support for legalizing now at 62% versus 54% in 2014 and 33% in 2004, and 110% increase in US jobs from 2017 to 2019. I'm not gonna lie to you, I do believe that this industry is gonna be huge as well. It is being held down right now because of the legalization of it, but as soon as that happens, especially in countries like the US, it is absolutely gonna explode. And so now is the time to get in. Now, some companies in this ETFs may not make it out of these times, but that's why you buy the ETF, so you don't have to worry about individual companies failing. As we can see, one of the top companies here is Afria, and then Afria makes up one of the top holdings in my Robinhood account. And so there are several other good companies that I'm invested in directly here, like CGC is another company that I'm invested in direct, Canopy Growth Corp. Personally, I may not pick up this ETF only because I plan to add money directly into various stocks within this industry. And last but not least, First Trust NASDAQ Clean Edge Green Energy Index Fund, QCLN. And we know these type of indexes are gonna be huge, especially with a Biden administration. And so these are stocks that are focused on clean energy. And so let's take a look at some of their top holdings, which are Tesla, Enphase Energy, Plug Power, Neo, Solar Edge, Sunrun. Now, if you have been a part of some of the growth that's been happening, 100, 200, 300% from picking up EV single stocks last year, then you may be asking yourself, why do I want to pick up an ETF that's probably going to give me a 25% return or a 50% return on the high end? And there are three reasons why you would want to pick up this type of ETF. The first one is capital gain tax. If you plan to grow your money over a long period of time with single stocks, a lot of times people buy in and sell within the course of a year. A lot of retail investors don't hold those stocks for a long period of time and truthfully can't because they experience high volatility. When you're holding an ETF like that, you don't necessarily have to worry about that volatility because you invested in a lot of companies, not a single company. Now, how that plays with your taxes, if you sell a stock the first year that you bought it within 1 year, then you have to pay about a 30% capital gain tax. And if you're able to hold that stock for longer than a year, you pay a 15% capital gain tax. That doesn't mean much over the course of 1 year of investing. When you're at 5, 10, 15 years of investing and have been paying those capital gain tax when you could have potentially hold an ETF like this, you will come to see that it actually balances out a little. So if you're focused on growing your money over a long period of time, I will say probably 5 years or more, then these ETFs are better plays than actually picking up a lot of single stocks, even though over a short period of time, you will experience more growth. And that's why I say part of the channel is building generational wealth. The next thing you really need to know is, what is your end game? Why are you investing right now? And you may see, well, I just want more money. But no, you gotta get more specific than that. So for example, for me, in the next 5 years, I would like to grow this account to at least $200,000. That will put me in a position to pay off my house in cash, including what I'm paying on my house now to pay it down. When that happens, I will be financially free. Now, why I need to know that number? It lets me know two things. That one, I'm thinking at least 5 years out for this money. So what happens to the money this year and next year does not matter as long as I'm able to buy into a position that will grow exponentially over the next 5 years. Remember, we're thinking 5 years out here. And so I may put my money in an investment, let's say 5G, that may not take off in 2021, but will probably take off in 2022. And because I'm able to buy in low now, then that will cause my money to even grow faster when it starts growing next year, for example. Now 5G may take off this year, but that's giving you the idea of how investing for the long term works. It is a different strategy than short-term investing, and knowing your goals lets you know what type of strategy you need to choose. If you need your money this year, yes, single stocks may help you more. But if you're thinking 5 year, 10 year down the line when you may need it for whatever objective, maybe it's retirement for you, maybe it's early retirement, whatever that is, that will let you know how you should invest your money. And if you're doing 5 years out, ETFs that's focused on growth is the best way to go. For those of you that stuck all the way to the end of the video, I hope that last gem was helpful for you. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button, that really helps out the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of when I post something new. And like I always say, even in the midst of these crazy times, God bless you, and remember to live your best life.